This is a field of oilseed rape. To the untrained eye, it looks like a field of spring barley because it's got volunteer spring barley in it. But that's just starting to die off now because it has been sprayed about just over a week now. But I don't know if you can see, but there's them little things that look like tufts of grass or weed. That's actually pigeons just grazing away at it. There's a footpath through this field and people walk it all the time, so that's why this bit's not too bad. But over, if you get further over to the field by the trees, that's where all the pigeons are. So I've not got any bangers with me. Hey! That didn't work either. But you can see it in the road still anyway, but it'll be a lot thinner over here. I'll keep the camera running until they take off so you can see the numbers of them. In fact, zoom in there. That's all pigeons. Scarecrows don't work. We can't put a gas gun round here because it'd just get vandalised or stolen and piss everyone off in them houses. But if anyone's got any other options for scaring them, give me a shout. Or someone wants to come and shoot them, reduce the numbers. But they can basically, if they wanted to, they just take this whole field, so there'd be nothing left, which is slightly annoying. They're actually quite tame, these. I wonder if they come out of the city. Hey! There we go. I'll just go and sit in them trees now until I've gone. I'll just come straight back then and start eating again. This is another field of, well, I have an electric shot, don't I? This is another field of rape. This, we put some fertiliser on it the other day. So as you can see now, the grass weeds are totally sort of dying back. They've gone sort of like an orangey purpley colour. And now the oilseed rapes are sort of bouncing up out of them. So if you come down and lower down, all you see now is oilseed rape plants, which is good. Because it means that they're getting away from the they're getting all of the nutrients and they're getting away out the ground. So we've got plenty of cover. That helps the pigeons a bit, because if they start to touch each other, there's no ground for them to land on. They don't like landing on things that wobble. So hopefully in a few weeks this will be stitched right across and you won't see the rows, and it'll help protect it. This patch here is where we've overlapped with the fertiliser. So as you can see, it's like massively grown. It's like 18 inches high, which is a lot better than the rest of it. It'd be great if we could make it all look like that, but it's different rules and regulations allow us not to put too much fertiliser on in the autumn in case it ends up in the watercourses. So it means that we can only put certain amounts on, and often it's not enough. There's a thin patch here that's allowed the pigeons to land. If you look, you see that the plants have been totally stripped. So that leaf should look a bit like that one. So if I hold them both up, you see the difference. It's just eaten. In other news, the wheat on this field's looking great. It's a bit wet just in the gateway there. That's not so bad. It's where we're coming out, all the traffic. But this bit here normally lies wet, so you can see it's sort of shimmering, and it has had water. But because the wheat's grown and it's out the ground, if it does get flooded, it can handle it because it can breathe still. So if that had been sown sort of 2 weeks later, or maybe even a week later, and we'd have got that weather that we got the other week, that would just be a bare patch now, but at least it's green and hopefully it should stand the winter. So that's about it for today. Sun's setting over there, crops are looking good. If you look in this field here, actually, there's you can see where we had the trailer park when we were filling it, when we were combining, and it was quite windy that day and the beans were blowing out. So there's quite a lot of volunteer beans just in with the wheat. So there's wheat and then there's a bean plant, but they're just putting nitrogen back in the ground, and they'll either get killed off by the frost or when we go through the herbicide in the wheat. So I'm not really bothered about that, but it's a nice deep green colour, which means it's thriving.